everybody. It's gonna get gradually louder and louder and louder because I don't want to startle anybody. Ah, there we go. Uh-oh, I have audio up. Hold on, there we go. We did it. We did it. Okay, now I'm gonna bring everybody else in. We'll all be at the same level. Hi, everybody! Woo! Now everybody can hear you.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it's important.
And you guys can't hear Sarah's headphones, can you?
No.
Trying to figure out if I can or not.
Are we supposed to?
No, she just has it up loud so that she doesn't hear us spoiling stuff.
The buttress, we tried to ease into it. Usually I just full blare like, welcome to the show. I turn the volume up slowly to make life better.
It's probably okay. I don't think my mic's picking it up.
And if I get up on accident to help her, you might hear
Now I can hear both of you, in case you were wondering on that.
Well, yeah, it's because we're talking to each other.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't know what we were testing.
Okay, John, I'm going to talk. Let me know if you can hear me.
Okay.
Hi, John. How are you doing?
I heard that.
Okay, that's good.
I can't hear you right now.
I'm not talking.
Oh, okay. When are you going to talk?
Right now, I'm going to talk.
Okay. Can't hear you.
I stopped.
Nope,
stopped
I can hear
talking.
you now.
Wait. Oh, crap. I don't know which way to go.
I got you. All right. Hi, chat.
By the way, I do have a sort of kind of hard cutoff time because I'm recording Battle Pets after this.
Okay, what time is your hard cutoff time?
It's sometime between 9 and 9:15.
Okay.
So
Sure.
normalish, but
So
I'm saying
we should-
if we go like super long,
So you're saying we should start the show?
we should probably start soon.
It's time to do stuff. It's time to do some things. It's time to get together.
Hold
do some
on.
other things.
Hey, Ben.
Hold on.
Ben, go look in the Discord chat room.
Show.
The Discord chat room. Whose Discord chat room?
Do you have a chat room?
Wait, what?
That's probably gonna be loud, but hey, we're doing this anyway.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
What
Ben?
was that? Oh, you found the YouTube of it.
I don't remember my login for Discord. I can't read anything.
Oh, that's why you're never in there. Okay.
I know. It's supposed to remind me. It's supposed to tell me stuff.
Okay, I'm gonna stop that so that we don't get a copyright infringement.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I'm surprised we
Yeah.
aren't going to get one off my amazing Muppet Show rendition that I just did.
Word. Yeah, I mean it was pretty good.
Yeah, me as an orc warrior looks awesome. I should be an orc warrior.
I guess I probably could just like tweet out that we're live and stuff like that. Like do things like
Probably.
that.
Unacceptable. You will know my curse.
Hi,
It's
on my
shit.
Twitter.
That's my favorite one.
I'm going to just sit here and quote lines that I may or may not know.
That may or may not be accurate.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure he
Oh.
says that. Unacceptable. You will know my curse. I think that's what he says.
Okay, so let me ask you something really quick before we start. Actually, let me finish typing this all out, and then I'll ask you. Okay.
Way to go, Ben. You brought the conversation to a screeching halt.
I know. Okay, so
We're waiting to hear
um,
Ben's typing.
well, I went to pick up dinner on the way home, and when I stopped at Payway, I'm like, oh yeah, pick up for Ben. And then like this 16-year-old guy, like kid, he's all like, "Are you an uncle?" So I'm just like,
that
no.
kid's the best.
yeah. And then
I
he's
got
all,
some rice from you.
no, he went the other way.
Oh, did he?
I would
Yeah,
have
he's
said,
all-
I would have turned around and said, yeah, my nephew's waiting for me at the car. I need to get it quick because it's a rough neighborhood.
Yeah, I just said no, and he's like, because it'd be great if you had a nephew. I'm like, yeah, I'd be dead. And he's like, but just think, someone be out there with superpowers. I'm like, I wouldn't care because I'd be dead.
I like that this guy's ready to sacrifice you on the altar just so there can be a superhero in the world. He doesn't even want to be a superhero, but he's willing to let you die just so that there could be a superhero out there.
Exactly. So apparently my death equals superhero. Sorry, folks. I'm what's holding the world back.
Well, you'll be at BlizzCon.
It sounds like a conversation. Sounds like we're gonna have a conversation anyway.
On a side note, I did see a Roadrunner in the parking lot at work today. I took pictures.
Wait a minute. What does that have to do with a superhero?
Absolutely nothing.
Oh, you just wanted to talk about the sick Roadrunner you saw.
It was cool. Yeah. Okay, anyways, I'm stopping my pre-show recording to start the show recording, and then we can start the show.
All right, I'm going to put another Murloc in the chat because I like it.
Because you want to brag.
Actually, I'm going to put 3 Murlocs in the chat because I don't know how Twitch emotes work, and I ended up putting it in there 3 times. And because I want to brag.
Okay.
I got a Twitch emote. I'm very excited about it.
Like, hey guys, no one else has this yet. Screw
No one
you.
else will get it. It's too expensive. Nobody should spend that kind of money on my channel. I'm going to be the only one with this emote, and that's going to be exciting to me. Now, the other one, maybe. I think maybe it might be worth the one with my dumb face. It's a lesser thing, but it's cheaper. Nobody should spend the money for the Murloc. The Murloc's just for me.
Oh, look at that. I can't copy and paste it.
No, I tried.
I know, I put it in there anyway. I'm like, it's not going to work, but I'm doing this. Anyways,
Yeah.
Ted, whenever you want to kick us off, feel free.
Oh, now I got to flip a coin. Am I taking over the host show or not? No, I'm kidding.
No, you're not. You're not. Ah, crap. It's already happened.
All right, you ready? This is Tetsemi, and welcome to Azeroth Roundtable.
Yeah, that works. Yeah, okay. Cool. Short and sweet. It's not taking over. I like it. Welcome to Azeroth Roundtable, episode 1. No, we're in the 2s now. Episode 232. This week is very special because we have 1 warrior and 2 warrior alts, and we're going to talk about a demon hunter. That's right. I'm Ben Bumhofer, and with me, as always, is John Jagger. How's it going, John? John? Are you muted, or are you just confused?
I'm muted. Hello.
Okay.
Hey, everybody. It's
Hey, John.
Saturday evening here in Azeroth. We all should work harder at remembering when we're muted or not. I was wondering why Ben was being so adamant about talking over me when I was trying to talk to him a minute ago. And now I know. Another person who couldn't hear me is joining us tonight at the round table. Hi, Tet.
Hi.
Hi, John. How are you?
You sound so excited, John. It's like, oh, well, I bungled that whole thing up, so show's over.
It's all gone. Throw it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. But,
John muted his enthusiasm.
I did. It just killed it. It was like, yeah, I'm ready to go. And then Ben just kept talking over me, and I was like, okay. And that killed it a little bit. And then I tried to talk more, and then Ben starts talking over me again. And then he says nobody can hear me. And, it's all a mess. It's all gone to hell. But you know what hasn't gone to hell?
no.
The World of Warcraft.
What?
It's gone to Argus.
Yeah. No, hell was during Cataclysm when, we went to Firelands.
Yeah.
Yeah. Totally different.
Hell was cool, but it was hot.
Before we get into any sort of big discussion and everything, if you haven't taken your main character to Argus and played through about maybe, an hour and a half, 2 hours, maybe, and seen a cinematic that involves someone who likes to wear a blindfold, we're going to spoil the whole heck out of that. So there's your warning.
Yeah. Now, I will say, to be fair, if you have a very light definition of spoilers, you could probably stick around. There's nothing crazy.
Yeah, but we're just going to talk about it.
Honestly, I will, having listened to another podcast we won't mention, describe it to someone else. You need to see the video. Just someone describing it to you without hearing Liam O'Brien voicing it doesn't do it justice at all.
What, you don't think Terpster did a good job of describing it, Tet?
You knew exactly. Yeah, you knew exactly who I was going. No, that was bad.
You know, we
that
are
makes
allowed
sense.
to talk about the instance on this show.
Yeah.
I know.
I am familiar with the work of those gentlemen.
We could
I
say
know.
friends of the show, even.
Yeah.
I know. But
But
yeah,
yes, I
no.
agree. So everybody go either play to it and see it right now, or just go watch it on
Yeah, we'll
YouTube.
wait.
Yeah.
We'll wait.
Okay, welcome back.
All right. Now that
Whoa.
you've seen it,
And we appreciate you putting it on 12x speed just so you could be back here real quick.
Exactly.
But yeah,
So,
let's talk about it. Let's talk about the cinematics in general because we actually got 2 with
Mhm.
this this patch.
Well, first of all, I think it's really cool that we got a new patch. I'm super happy about it. I haven't been able to dig into it too much because work, but luckily that's kind of going to be slowing down a whole heck of a lot, so I'll actually be able to play a whole bunch of WoW now. I'm super excited about that.
yay!
But the fact that I was able to get 2 and see the cinematic just kind of shows you how much you need to get through in order to get there. So, yeah, just do it if you haven't yet. I know we've said it before, but seriously, it's not a lot. It's really cool. But I'm taking my main through. Ted, I know you're taking your main. John, I'm assuming you're taking your main. Or did you want to just randomly go up and switch and just go to Argus on your warrior?
I was tempted. I mean, the flow of the warrior is really good. I like it, but no, I was nice to get back on my rogue and forget how to do everything because what I've been
Except grappling
doing,
hook.
I'm there with you.
I've been putting abilities on my mouse because I like the convenience of like, oh, I want to be able to grapple hook as soon as it's available at all times. So I need a quick, easy access mouse button to do that. And so I bound a couple abilities for my rogue, and I noticed that when I got on my other characters, those particular places in the bar were still bound to mouse keys. So I started doing that with all my characters, but it's a variety of different moves. So on my rogue, it's a grappling hook and a heal, and switching from single target to multi-target damage. Like, those are my 3 extra mouse buttons. On my warrior, it's 3 different types of damage that I can do. So I'm sitting there in fights, and I see things like pop up, and I'm hitting it, and my character's like drinking a healing potion at full health. I'm just like, oh my gosh, I've forgotten how to play all my characters. They're all gone.
John, don't feel bad. Because I got on my rogue and I did just about the same thing. I went into one fight and did killing spree, and all I see next is disconnected. I'm like, okay, so I probably should not have done killing spree on a guy whose legs I can't see that's standing in lava. That should have been my first clue.
Yeah.
And
Oh, you totally Brian did. I can't believe it.
I did. I absolutely did. I hit killing spree, and it showed me the bottom of the lava, looking up through a model, and disconnected. That was it. Came back dead. Like, okay, that's good. And then I'd switch specs to put attack power in one of my other weapons, and I in stealth, and I go up to sap somebody, and just attacked him. I'm like, what? Oh wait, my action bar switched, and sap is no longer where I thought it was. Silly me.
Yeah. So okay, I have a G510 keyboard, and I've got all these macro keys on the left side, and that's what I use for all my playing and everything. So that's where my skills are linked to the hotbar and everything. I finally come to the point where it's like, okay, I have to have specific things in a certain spot on my toolbar, otherwise I'm gonna get so confused. So any sort of like movement thing or whatever, that's always the number 1 key, because I could just reach over and hit it. So blink, roll, charge, well, not charge, heroic leap. It's like I've got all those things all sorted out and set up so that I try not to get too confused when I switch from one thing to another. And then there's my shaman, who just kind of blows all that out of the water, because it's like, oh, all the abilities are kind of different. So yeah, it's an interesting thing, just going back and forth with that. But anyway, so long way around that. So John, you're on your rogue. Tet, you're playing mostly your warrior, and then I'm on my monk, which, yay, that's cool. So we all know what we're doing. So John,
Hello.
do you like spaceships?
Yes.
Do you like spaceships that are made out of crystals?
No.
Oh.
Wait, I have one. John,
Yes.
do you like spaceships piloted by Draenei?
No.
Good answer, because so far all of them except one have crashed.
Yeah, they don't have a great track record. And the one that
No.
didn't crash only hasn't crashed because we hurried down and blew up a cannon ourselves.
Oh, and what kind of man, that cannon? Damn. First, because I hadn't spoiled myself when that thing crawled out of the ground. Ooh.
Yeah. Well, okay. So, anyways, so first cinematic, John, what were your like? Tell us about it. What happens?
Okay, I want to put a great big disclaimer right up front. I've had almost a week now to be hyped, let the hype die down a little, and become cynical. So I want to make it very clear right up front that I think this patch is great. I think this content is great. And any criticism you hear come out of my mouth is done under like a severe microscope. It's very minor things.
So what you're saying is you're Johning it.
I am Johning it because what happened was we all go down and we meet. So first they're like, hey, we want you to go to the Exodar. And I was like, a freaking again? Like, I've spent this entire expansion in the damn Exodar. And so I was like, oh my gosh, okay, fine. I will go back to the Exodar. And so then they're like, I'll show you where it is. I'm like, I know where it is. Been there a billion times. I had to kill somebody there. I had to save a guy. I had to do all this stuff. And so I get down there and they're like, all right, we're going to turn on the portal. We're going to go to your ship. And I start looking around and I notice that there's some lore characters around. And I'm like, oh, sweet. Who's coming on this journey with me? There's Illidan. He's cool.
Hi, John.
And then I kept looking for any other characters that I have any interest, attachment to, or desire to follow the story of in any way, shape, or form. And they were nowhere to be found, Ben. Every lore character I care about isn't going on the spaceship. And for a very brief moment, I wanted to be like, nah, y'all go without me.
Like, I'm gonna go find where Gen and Sylvanas are hanging out.
Yeah.
There's got to be a party there somewhere.
I'm gonna go see what Anduin's up to. There's characters I'm way more interested in than who's going on this spaceship.
Can you imagine if Gen and Sylvanas are just somewhere just drinking tea together and like working out their differences?
Yeah. Hey, I'd be fine with that. Just tell me. Just tell me. So anyway, that's my little cheap shot at it. It was very cool. The expansion is really good. Patch, not expansion. This expansion is good though.
Yeah, it is.
But yeah, so I teleport on up to the ship. But there was just this element of like, man, I feel like Kirk and Spock are staying on the Enterprise. And the rest of us are off on the B story of the adventure here, even though it should be the A story, because it's the one fight in the Legion and all that. It's just, as it turns out, maybe this week I'm more invested in Geordie LaForge's romantic troubles than what's going on with Q on the bridge. Like,
and let's find out if Data's dreaming or not.
Yeah,
right.
Like...
Okay. That's fantastic. Yeah, I don't know. I was kind of in a similar-ish boat. I actually had the luxury of having a tank with me the entire time because as a healer and someone who tries to do some damage, it is nice to have someone who will actually get punched in the face for you. You just have to keep them alive. So Tet was actually very kind and said, "Hey, have you done any of it yet?" And I said, "No." And he said, "You should probably go with a tank." So we get in, we do the whole cinematic thing, we fly over, and I love how other ship just kind of shows up. It's like, oh, they stopped hiding. It's like, what?
Why did they stop hiding?
Right.
Yeah. So anyway, so they get shot down. It's like, oh, let's go take out that big gun. It's like, okay. And so, Tet and I, we beam down, which I got to say, that's a really cool thing. I mean, not the beaming, but like the actual animation of it, I think is really neat. And then it's like first quest, kill 15 demons or something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
We did it before we stepped across the threshold into the area where you do the quest because there's so many of them.
Oh, I did too. I put on my AoE damage and stood at the line and was like, all right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we didn't even try. It just happened.
Well,
And
because I am an AoE tank, and it just,
yeah.
it's like I thunderclap and all the mobs go, oh, there he is. Let's go get him.
Yeah, I mean, it was great though, because I'm like, oh, this is why I need a tank with me. Okay, this is great. I mean, it worked out really well, and we got through that first little bit and stuff. But I'm just like, I don't know how I'm going to do this on my mage. I don't know if I'll survive. So I'm just going to kill everything behind the front lines and be like, pew.
Yeah, I did it on my mage, Ben, and I played sniper. I basically just sat there, killed as many demons as I can, and relied heavily on Frost Nova and Blink and Invisibility. So
Oh, that new Frost Nova looks so cool.
I got a question for you guys.
Okay.
So this just kind of popped up as you were saying that, because this was so I streamed it. So anybody who thinks I'm again being unfairly critical, I said this during the stream when I took those quests and it's like kill 12 demons, click these 3 things. I was like, oh,
here we go again.
Do MMO stuff is what they're asking me to do. I was thinking about it, and I really did have this weird moment where it was like, here's all this voice work, and people are sounding awesome, and here's all these lore characters, and you're going to be going in with them, and here's an awesome, amazing cinematic, and now you're teleporting down onto the ground. And then it's like, and then kill 12 demons and destroy the 3 things. And it made me sit there and wonder, like, as you guys were speaking, why are we doing that? Like, we're all max level. You have to be max level to do this. Mm-hmm. Getting quests completed for experience, and yes, you get a little bit of gold, and occasionally some items and stuff, is not as critical as it is during the leveling up phase.
Yeah.
They could make that entire area a big event and just not have to be a place where you're killing 12 demons or clicking. Like, it could be, almost like an invasion. Like, we're in phase 1, like, go in and do this. Like, does it feel like to either of you, I guess this is my question, that the questing system is antiquated when you get to max level content?
Kind of. But, I mean, there's a couple different ways that you can look at this. You can have this entire bit be a scenario, which, I mean, it doesn't, in my mind, it doesn't work as well as like a living thing if it's a scenario. But then again, at the same time, if you do something along the lines of that, and I'm totally breaking off that kind of train of thought really quick because I just realized every demon that we kill while we're on Argus, it's dead forever now.
Yep.
Correct.
So
permadeath.
Wouldn't it be cool if we actually go and we clear out an area and it's actually clear of demons, like nothing's respawning anymore? But I mean that would require
area. Well, no, but that first area, when you complete the 3 quests and you go take out the gun, and then you come back through that area, the entire area is dead. There was nothing living except our troops when we went back through there to leave the area.
True.
Now, when you come back, the demons have come, when you come back through that area, there are more demons again. But, and, the barriers are still there and all that, which, part of it's storytelling for the other people that need to see it, but they're bringing in troops, demons constantly. So I didn't feel that strange about it. I guess I'm so used to, I'm playing WoW, this is how you advance the story in WoW, that it really didn't bother me, John, when it was like, go kill 12 demons. I'm like, okay.
Would it be better if that wasn't like a quest by itself, but the other quests were still there of, oh, go kill this thing, and then it's just kind of assumed that you're going to be killing stuff along the way?
I would prefer almost what they do on the world quest, where it's not go kill 12 demons, but you have that little bar that fills up. Yeah. And it's just go do enough to fill up this bar. I don't care if it's 10, 15, 20. They could adjust the number, but that to me always feels better. Like when I go because I do the Warden Towers almost daily on Tet for the honor and stuff, and I know in my head a path and how many people I have to kill approximately to fill up that bar, but it's much better that than kill 20 Alliance and the commander. So I think if they just made that little tweak, instead of saying kill X number of things, you filled up a bar instead. That would make me happy.
Because then it feels like you're volunteering to do it, as opposed to like, ah, no, I gotta go kill my 12 demons, which, like we
Yeah.
all said, was not a big deal. But you could almost see a world where there's a little UI element on the right side that gives you the bar that you're filling up, and maybe has a little icon of what you unlock if you do it. And so they give you a quest, and it's like, go destroy the cannon. That's your quest, because that's what our goal is. So you go out there to go do that, and now you're in an area, and there's all this stuff to do, and you can look at the rewards and say, like, oh, well, I really do want to get more artifact power. Oh, but this is just for some, random thing I don't care about. I'll skip that part. I'll just go straight and do the quest. Again, it doesn't matter because we're not getting experience for this thing. It should be all kind of voluntary.
So here's the thing. And I'm trying to think of I don't know the best way to put it, but what we're describing is what they thought of when back in Draenor they had those like what were they called, like the
bonus areas.
Yeah, the bonus areas.
Yeah, and that's what they use the world quest today too.
Yeah, but the thing is the big difference between that and this is that we have the clear goal of like get the cannon. But all the stuff that we do along the way, the different things that we're going to get attacked, like don't make killing part of that at all. And like John said, make it a bonus. But the really cool thing about like this whole concept and idea behind it is the fact that, if we have something like that, they've tuned it so well for this expansion versus what they did in Draenor, is that I have never had one where I'm just like, oh God, am I freaking done with this yet?
Right.
Because
the numbers are low enough.
Yeah. I mean, we complained about it last expansion. I'm just making sure that we point out the differences between that and this.
Well, no.
And
go ahead. Sorry.
I was just saying, and I like the idea of you have your one quest, because I know there's plenty of world quests that's like fill up this bar and kill the commander.
Right.
But I like the idea of if it's a story progression, it's kind of like a choose your own difficulty. Do you want to kill all the stuff along the way as well, or do you just want to get the story bits done?
Yeah, and make it really clear what you're giving up by not by doing it or not doing it. Like, I think that's a cool thing. It allows me to see the content I want to engage in versus what I don't. I mean, maybe it's a form of gating too. Like maybe they consider this a way of slowing down the content. Well, people are going to have to kill 12 demons, so they can't just rush right to the cannon and be done. But at a certain point, I think we as players need to assume responsibility for the length that we get out of content. Like, I have tried to avoid very hard saying like, oh, there's nothing in WoW to do. Because there's a billion things in WoW to do.
Yeah.
Right. There's something I don't want to do.
Right. Like, there's nothing that I personally feel like doing right now, and stuff like that. And so I think we need to, as players, assume some level of responsibility for the feeling of there's nothing in the game to do. It's not 100% on us, but it's also not 100% on Blizzard. And if they were to put in a system like this and you just went from main objective to main objective and you finished the whole thing in, 40 minutes or so, and then you were like, nothing to do in this game, dead game. Like, no, that's kind of on you for deciding to skip all that stuff and just, mainline it.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's one quest, John, I don't know if you've gotten further in, Ben, to it, but there's one part where you have to go pick up 40 crystals off the ground. And I'm like, really, 40? And
40? Oh, wow. Because there was a crystal quest that I had to do where I had to get like 10 or 14 or something like that.
It depends on the world quest, because it depends.
Oh, okay.
It depends on which quest is active that day, world quest wise, which version of that you get when you're going through the story. Because like half my characters got the collect 10 and the rest got collect 40. Well, when you go to collect the 40, you're picking up 3 or 4 at a time, sometimes 5. So it's not that bad. But I was thinking about what John said, and just perception wise, 10 versus 40, even if you're getting multiples, that when you pick them up for the 40, you just look at that number of 40 and go, why? Yeah. Why 40? What, and even 10 was like, okay, I can get 10. It's enough to get you into that area.
I need you to bring me 5,372 MacGuffins.
I will tell you this. I made a decision when I started this. I said, for my main character, for Ted, I'm going to get the quest. I'm going to treat this differently this time. I'm not rushing through it like I normally would, but I'm also, when I get the quest, that's Blizzard telling me, I want you in this area.
Yeah.
And so I took the quest and I went to that area, and then I promptly ignored whatever the quest said to do. And went and looked around that area, because I'm like, okay, Blizzard got me here for a reason besides the quest. I want to see what else is in this area. And I found caves and paths up to, oh, look, there's a rare way up here. And, there's one, I don't know if you guys have run into it. It's called Priscilla. And it looks like it should be in this cave right at the very bottom under everything. And, there's like 5 people staring. Is she spawning? I don't know what's going on. And you realize that there's actually 3 levels, and you have to take the bridge up to a path that leads up, and she's in a cave up on top, directly above where you are. But you have to explore. You have to explore to find it. So when I went through on Tet, it took me about 4 hours to get through everything, compared to when I'm running my alts through it now. I can do it in about an hour because I've done most of the stuff. I just treated the quests as Blizzard's go look in this area and see what you find.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that made it a lot more enjoyable because I saw a whole lot. I found one quest that I'm like, this guy wants me to collect demon eyes. Well, I haven't seen I've been killing demons left, right, and center. How do you collect demon eyes? Well, you go in another area. It's in a close to that area, there's another hidden cave. You kill the guy, you go to the very back of the cave, and there's a statue. It turns you into a Deny, and you get a little debuff, and it says you will take 100% more damage. But now you can collect demon eyes.
Huh.
Weird.
So, yeah. So I'm like, well, I'm a tank. I take 100% more damage. Whatever. So I went out. I killed like 50 demons. I got 1 eye. I said, nope, I'm done.
Oh my gosh.
I went, no, not worth it. Again, may have been bad luck on my part. I don't know. I just said.
And that's really bad luck.
Oh, what's up with all these eyeless demons? Also, maybe Tet, stop smacking them in the eye. Like, keep those things fresh when you're after them.
I guess.
Could be it.
But I appreciate the fact that I didn't, normally it would be like, well, how do you collect demon eyes? Let me go to Wowhead. Let me go, MMO.
Right.
Let me go look. I just said, screw it. The guy wants demon eyes. I just marked it down and said, okay, this guy wants demon eyes. Somewhere in this world is something that's going to allow me to collect demon eyes. I'll bring him back to him when I did. Tripped over this thing in a cave in the back and went, oh, that's what this is for. This
Just
is
some guy in the
content-
back of a cave. Hey.
Yeah, this is
you want
content
some
I'm not
eyes?
interested in. I'm done. So.
Hey, you
Um,
only Drenai can collect demon eyes. Everybody knows that.
apparently.
You want to collect them? I can make you a Drenai. Low price.
It's
Yeah. So I mean, the idea of going through it multiple times and everything, and having an idea of, okay, fill this bar, you get a bonus, or just do the main quest line and stuff. That actually really helps with kind of like headcanon and how you play characters and stuff. Like if I was running through on a rogue, I'm probably not going to take the time to kill every demon that I find if I just need to go like collect a couple things off the ground or something, because I'm stealthy and I'm doing this stuff. Whereas my warrior is like, I'm killing everything because I'm a warrior.
At one point, because I run in tank mode, at one point I'm like, oh, there's a rare over there. Let me go kill the rare. And on the way to the rare, I aggroed every single thing in the path and drug it over to the commander. So I looked up and I'm like, why is my health actually dropping? This is unusual. And I'm like, okay, let me hit shield wall. How many? Oh, there's a problem. There's 4 elites in here along with the rare. That would be why. So it, and I just wore them down, and eventually, people piled on the rare once I get rid of all the elites and everything. But it was just like, that's something I wouldn't do on my mage.
No, probably not. And I
Probably
think
not a good idea.
I think it would also help for alts, right? Because like if I'm on my main, and let's put a hypothetical, let's say I'm raiding and I'm like, real current and up on gear and things, I probably don't need to see I probably don't need to. If I do this thing, I will get item level 7 whatever drop. I don't need
Right.
that. But maybe on my alt, maybe that would be an upgrade. So now when I go there, I know, okay, I definitely need to participate in this content because I need this. Instead of saying like, oh, it's all good for everybody, it's not always the case. In fact, it's rarely the case. So I think that sort of thing would be fun. And I don't want to make it sound like I think the questing is bad. I think we've all agree, or would all agree that, like, generally speaking, the quests that they've been having us do, nothing's asking anything outrageous. 12 demons. Click these little
when
shield
they're just like
things.
rushing up to your face that says, "Hey, I'm a demon. You can kill me."
It just it made me realize that, like, questing can be fun, but at a certain point, like, you have to look at what the point of it is. Like, and it feels like at this point, most of what we're getting out of it is like out of the filler content is a big time sink. Like, just we want you to go do a thing and then come back, and like maybe it's used for some gating as well. But I just think that there's perhaps maybe a more elegant solution in there somewhere. So that was my little side tangent that I thought up that took half the show. So
yeah. Well, okay. So anyway, so you go through, you do some stuff, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, hey, I have a cannon for my spaceship.
Yep. That's pretty cool. So the call back to what was that area in
whatever one it was, the orbital strike or whatever.
Yeah. Gorkond. Yeah.
Anyway, so you get the cannon, and then you are able to like blow open the door to the other spaceship that crashed, because
the one that was probably like, I want to see the cutscene where they're hanging out on the ship and they're like, all right, we're still hidden. The demons can't find us. We're doing really well.
There's another spaceship.
They're
Let's
here.
go.
Surely they wouldn't come to rescue us without significant firepower on that ship. Let's float up and hover.
Yeah. So, okay, I don't know if your experience was the same as mine, but I'm just like, okay, let's, go check out for survivors. And, the whole idea is we're trying to get the Celestial back, or whatever they're called. Celestial, right?
Naru,
whatever.
Yeah.
We're, go get
the Naru Prime, yes.
Yeah, going to get the rest of our Naru. And so, we blow up the wall and everything. We walk in, and all of a sudden there's just these paladins just standing around inside. Like, they're just standing there. You're on a crashed ship. We're supposed to be looking for like survivors and stuff, and they're just standing there. They're like, hey, no, we're fine. We don't have to, fight off demons trying to get in, anything like that. It's just, we're just standing. I thought that was a little odd, but But anyway, so we go in and we find all these pieces of a Naru that are just kind of floating there. I'm like, okay. And then we beam up to our ship, which was cool. And then I guess for some reason the beaming part, which I know both of you have seen Star Trek Next Generation. Did you love how we set up like the three transporter things around it, like Geordi does for like half the episodes when there's a problem with the beaming?
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm just like, hey, I'm being Geordi. Yay!
It all comes back to being Geordi. This expansion.
But it was pretty cool. I actually like that. It's build more pylons. That's what I kept getting StarCraft references to all this, because it's like, oh, send the bunker down. I'm like, okay, we're getting StarCraft references. I love it.
Man, I'm ready for the Draenei to go full Protoss. That would get me completely on board. Like, as soon as that happens, then I'm with you. I need my moment where there's like one of us and all of a sudden this mass of demons comes down and it's just you and a little probe, and the probe puts down a pylon and it warps in, and then just you have an instant army all around you.
Exactly.
So,
there's a crystal ship floating above that randomly shoots down too.
Yeah. And my character can be like Entaro Tassadar whenever they go into battle. Like, I'm done with the Horde. If the Draenei become full on Protoss and they get little hand blades and all of that, bye. I'm done. I'm out.
I actually went over to my Alliance tunes just to look at my Draenei over there and went, yeah, they're like level 10, level 12. I really want to get them over to this, but I don't have that much time.
I gotta say, as someone who plays Horde, those male Draenei in full like paladin armor and everything
yeah.
are very imposing and cool looking.
Yes, but they remain triangles, upside down triangles.
Yes, I totally agree with that.
All right. You brought it up, so let me go back to the first cinematic when you're going to the ship, when you're going from Azeroth to Argus. The sound of Illidan walking on that spaceship, did that give anyone else chills?
Oh, I loved it.
Yeah.
And then I was like, man, this guy isn't sneaky.
The little clip-clop of Illidan.
But it just, that and the Snarkadin that came out and everything, that first cinematic I love. The second one that we're getting to, I love even more. But yeah, the sound, just the fact that they included that hoof sound on the metallic deck, I was like, oh.
Wouldn't it be fantastic? It was just some human behind him with coconuts.
All right,
that's what I'm going to do next time I'm at Disneyland and the horse goes by. I'm just going to scream at it. You sound like Illidan!
Okay, so we beam up. We take all the pieces of the Naru, which were alive and floating and seemingly just fine, and now we're just spreading them out on the ground, which I thought was kind of funny.
Put it in a dustpan and pour it out.
Yeah, just kind of dump it around and stuff. And then we take the heart of the Naru that has been, having us look through Illidan's eyes and, getting us all experienced with his life and, being very empathic towards him.
And being a real piece of shit.
And everything. Yeah. It's being kind of a jerk.
I did not
Lights Hark.
Collect 5 million of these things and we'll be able to tell you more Illidan's story.
Nope.
No, I still
I did it once.
I still haven't done it. I don't know if I'm ever going to do it. And all it did is make me really enjoy the next cutscene a whole lot.
Me too. So now this is where we're going to be totally spoiling that cutscene. If you hung around and thought, it'll be fine, this is where we're doing it. But so, God, it was just so cool. So, okay, the idea of this Naru, changing Illidan from what he is into becoming like it. Is she turning him back into a night elf or like raising it? Like, what was the end goal supposed to be? Like, that's what I have the big question burning in my mind. Like, what was he going to be?
I mean, like, he was going to be a holy version of Illidan. Like, the thing that kept popping into my head was that Dreadlord that's like the holy Dreadlord that keeps running around.
Yeah.
Like, I kind of pictured that, but for Illidan. And, like, he was going to be this, like... I mean, I think here's what I love about the cinematic so much, is I think it is a perfect parallel when he says, I've traded my freedom for power before. Mm-hmm. And to me, that was such a nice moment because it was this great point where he's just saying, like, you're just another master. Like, you're telling me, like, oh, you haven't lived up to your potential and you've been abused and you've gone through all these hardships and all of that. Now come work for us. We're going to make it all better. And him saying, like, no, you're just wanting to trade me. You're no different than the demons were. Like, you're fighting on the side of good, but you want to use me as a puppet just like they did. Like, everybody wants me to just be their little puppet. And I'm not going to be it anymore.
Yeah, and the other thing for that whole cutscene where they're arguing back and forth, she's like, "I'm going to make you whole again," and he's like, "But my scar," he said, "What, John? What's the line? Because you want to say it."
Oh, okay. So she says, "We can heal your scars," and then he goes, "I am my scars."
Right, and that sent chills up my spine because I know, and I've talked to a couple people since that have seen the video, that really resonates. It's like, I don't want to be healed because these flaws and these scars are what make me who I am. Mm-hmm. If you get rid of this, then who am I? And I think that's part of, Illidan's like, I don't want to be part of a collective, the light. I want to be the individual that I am. And really, my only goal is to end the Legion. I'm not in this for self-glory. I'm not in this for anything else. I just want to see the end of the Legion. And everyone's like, no, but to do that, you got to. So, long story short, they fight. I-beams win over light, apparently.
Yeah.
Because no more Naru.
And I mean, but the best thing is, it's like it's such a, oh, he's this powerful already.
Right.
Like, do we need this? Like, does he need to be controlled or anything like that? And
Yeah.
I mean, it's such a rich bit of storytelling where it's basically saying, look, he got all this. He understands the sacrifice and everything. Like, if anything, he's already filling that prophecy that was told. He did the rise to power, the fall from grace, and he's alive again, which is it's really handy to be alive for this part.
Right.
But I mean, he's already in a position of like understanding and knowing and being able to essentially like lead the forces and help stop the darkness that's invading.
Right. If you notice, if you watch Terrellian's eyes during that cutscene, when Illidan blows up the Naru Zira, and I know it's a metaphor of the light fading because his eyes change from gold back to brown, but it's also, you also see almost like a recognition, like he was under a spell or under the control of the influence of Zira, and that connection got cut, and all of a sudden he's like, oh, and then he's like, what have you done? Almost, and I don't want to say, I'm not trying to say he was drugged, but it's almost like a drug addict getting their fix cut off, and all of a sudden now the light's not there. Well, who am I? What's left? Now I don't have anything. Whereas Illidan knew, this is who I am. Without you, I don't need you to tell me who I am. This is who I am, and I'm going to get on just fine. We all are, because we're the ones that are going to save ourselves.
Right.
By the way, I just want to say, Sarah just saw the cutscene. She looked over and heard. She's like, "Oh,
yeah, baby."
It's super. Yeah. It's super good. It's super powerful. I think it was really impactful to have a character basically say like, no prophecies. This isn't about a champion of the light. This isn't about this. This is about us as mortals saving ourselves. And I really thought that was powerful storytelling. It's also very anti-Blizzard or atypical Blizzard storytelling, because Blizzard is very much about the chosen one and fallen, becoming redeemed, becoming, this. And they tend to, every time they stumble upon a nuanced character, immediately dive them right into a stereotype of some sort. We don't have a very conflicted Jaina. We have a conflicted Jaina in books, but in game we have a angry all the time, hates the Horde now Jaina, or she's a super good, innocent, nice, peace-loving Jaina. Like, they operate in, the light and the void, basically. And for them to suddenly, with their own storytelling, take this, like, middle road and say, no, we're gonna do this, it was just super powerful and super effective. But I want to throw one wrench at it real quick, just to see what you guys think. If you remember, back in the Sunwell raid days, there was a corrupted Naru that we fought. And when it is then used to purify the Sunwell, it is revealed that it knew all along exactly what its fate was meant to be. It knew that it was going to be captured. It knew that it was going to be corrupted. It knew that it would be purified and would cleanse the Sunwell and save the people at the same time. And they basically say, yep, knew it was coming and allowed it to happen because it knew it was the right path. Maybe Zira is fully aware that Illidan needs to be his own being in order to reach his full potential.
No, absolutely. And that actually I'm glad you brought it up, because that plays into the whole light versus void aspect that they're getting into. And that is, not everyone, 99% of the people see light good, void evil, because that's how those two elements have been used.
Mhm.
But they're just opposites of each other. You can use void for good. You can use light for evil. You know, it's a right now the way they're presenting it in game, there's not a black and white good versus evil. It's light versus void. And if you remember a couple things, Illyria, if you paid attention to Illyria when you're walking up the fallen ship, Zira put her in jail because she was experimenting with void energy. And so there's a whole discussion over with Illyria that's worried about if we put Zira back together, is Illyria just going to get thrown back in jail again by the light? And so there's a whole worry of that piece of it. But also when you go down to the Netherlight Crucible, look at the name of that, Netherlight Crucible. We picked up the pieces of Zira and put them on one side. Well, Nether can also mean shadow. I'm willing to bet next week, I haven't looked at the PTR, I haven't looked at spoilers, this is just me guessing. I'm willing to bet next week that we come across a area of shadow or a being of shadow that we destroy, take the pieces of, and that's the other side of the Netherlight to balance it out, so that there'll be a void side and a light side of that Netherlight Crucible that we're going to use to further empower our weapons.
Yep. I would like to say that I do enjoy that the theme of this expansion is explode people and turn them into dust or little tiny pieces. So far we've got Varian, Gul'dan, and Zira.
Yep. There's been a lot of dissolving people.
Yep.
I actually find this as a really interesting storyline for them to explore, because coincidentally, every now and then I will give a little hint as to what's going on with my own personal headcanon. So here's the taste. Basically, because I always want in my own headcanon my character to be disconnected from what's going on with what other rogues are doing. So my rogue in my story doesn't have the Dread Blades. I needed a different artifact for my rogue to go get, and so my rogue went and got the Cloak of Shadows, a actual cloak based on the rogue ability. And it was very much a like, hey, this is heavily tied with the void, and one of the big themes in the story was the void is not always evil. The void is just another tool, another element. And to see them all of a sudden come up with this, I was like, oh my gosh, this is exactly the sort of story I was experimenting with in my own little headcanon. This is so great, and I'm glad they're getting to it, and I don't know, I'm stoked. They turned me around because I was like, Legion fight's gonna be boring, but now they're getting into some interesting moral areas that I actually find very fascinating.
I go ahead, Ben. Sorry.
I'm just saying, I'm just absolutely loving it. I mean, just going back to your first point of I am my scars. I mean, just the idea of Illidan just totally taking stock of everything that he is, everything that he has. I mean, without the cheesy, do you have any idea what I've sacrificed? That every death or every demon hunter says every 5 seconds. I mean, it's neat to see him, evolving and growing as a character and being in that, whole fight for it. And I mean, this whole light versus nether is cool, or void, or whatever you want to call it. So I'm really excited to see where this goes.
Did you see what Spaz put in the chat room?
Yeah, I was just actually going right to that.
Okay.
Okay, first of all, before we say exactly what it is, something that I want to ask you too, if you're having issues with this or not. So when the characters are triggered to actually start talking to each other and everything, are you finding it like kind of annoying that you never know if they're actually done talking or not? Because like I keep like they're talking, someone will say something and someone will say something else, and then like 30 seconds goes by, I'm like, okay, we're cool, and I like teleport down, and then they start talking again. Like I teleported down onto the ground and they're talking on the ship. I'm like, shit. So then I teleport right back up, and then they just keep the conversation going, which I'm like, thank you.
Well, and the nice thing is it puts it in your chat. But that was one of the things I did with Tet, was when I got to the ship, and I don't know what triggered this. I think I think this is going to be a Diablo throwback, John, to Diablo 3. But do you remember in the very beginning, there was like if you went and looked at the book in the inn, it would say one thing.
Yeah.
And then you would leave and you would go do one quest and you would come back and you did the book again and it said another part of it and it advanced. I'm like, okay,
Right.
I want to see if any part of that's happening during this thing. So I went around, and if you pay attention, there are pairs of NPCs, named NPCs, that are standing next to each other. The majority of them will have one that has a dialogue button that will say stay a while and listen, another Diablo homage there, and that will trigger the conversations. There's Khadgar's down in the basement area where the weapon is, and I forget who he's talking to. Illyria's next to Turellian. There's another one down by the mission table. I think there's 3 or 4 pairs of these NPCs that if you can right click and say stay a while and listen. Interesting side note. If you are a hunter and you have the Windrunner bow equipped and you go talk to Illyria, she says, nice bow you have there. It's been in my family a long time, and I see you've earned its use. Keep it in good company and use it well. I might need that back later.
I just like to say, gimme.
No, but it's interesting. She acknowledges you've got her family bow.
Yeah.
And you kind of like, well, yeah, we've got your bow. Don't you want to know about your sister? So when you get to a certain point in the story, you teleport back into the ship, and in front of you are Illyria and Valera walking down.
Not Valera.
Valera
is a Windrunner.
That's right. It's
Illyria and
Verissa?
What's
See,
her
I
name?
screwed you up.
Yep.
It's
Now all I can think is Valera. It's the only one.
I'm sorry.
Illyria and V Lady.
Yes.
I'll look it up. Hold on.
Come on, chat room. Anyway, they have a conversation, and it starts out with, "I can't believe Sylvanas is leading the horde after all they did to us." And you're like, "Okay, where is this going?" And they get to a conversation of, you realize she's been gone 1,000 years.
Yeah.
So she just knows what the horde was like when they left. She has no idea. Northrend.
It's Illyria and Verissa.
Verissa, thank you.
Yeah, I was close.
I don't know why I was trying to put too many L's in there. Verissa. Got it. But they have this conversation, and it's like, I really want to be a fly on the wall when Verissa tells Illyria what Sylvanas is, because that's just going to blow her mind.
Yeah, in fact, it was when Illyria and I think Tellurian teleported down, and Verissa standing there with whoever their son was or is. And she's like, I wonder, I feel bad when I'm going to have to tell my sister about, or when you have to tell her about Sylvana, whatever. I forget who said what exactly. And then that's where I teleported down. They started saying that. I'm like, oh, teleport back up. And I mean, I'm just sitting there. I'm like, oh, this is going to be insane. What happens? And then, of course, it stops right there. And that's where I logged out. I haven't played anymore since then. But, I mean, it's just like, the little bits of lore and everything are something that are really neat, and I love all the different small interactions.
But oh man, that they decide to go have that conversation in private. I'm like, oh, you suck. Also, I just want to point out, and I wrote this on Twitter, but I'm gonna say it here because I feel like it needs to be said. What a dick move. For, first of all, getting any news from Verissa is going to just suck because she's just going to color it she's going to color it gold and blue. Because she's sad because her husband's dead. Shut up. And so I don't like that. I don't like Verissa. She's my least favorite Windrunner.
Who's your favorite? Just, out of curiosity.
The third one. The one that's not Illyria and not
Varisa.
Varisa.
Sylva.
Yeah, it starts with
what
a
is it?
S.
S something? Okay.
Yeah, S something. I think she's all right. Huey, Dewey, and the other one. So I. So here's the thing: is like we are Horde players, and they are having this conversation right around us, and they're like, "Oh, I can't believe she joined the Horde, or lead the Horde after all they've done. After she's been sitting there asking us to run friggin' errands for her, and having no issue with that, and like, hey, we came here on a ship, we left our own planet behind to come help you, and." It's just like, oh, I can't believe she'd help the Horde of all people. It's like, do you see the bajillion blood elves running around? Like, there's a lot of elves helping the Horde right now.
Oh, wait till that explanation happens. Yeah.
So, I don't know. It's just, it bugs me. It bugs
I just
me
picture
when...
beaming up and hearing, Kael'thas did what?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I gave Tyrande a lot of crap for how obnoxious she was in this expansion, because she comes up and she's just like, oh, you filthy Horde. And like,
Right.
she's so mean when you're a Horde player, but at least she wears it on her sleeve, right? Like, at
Right,
least
yeah.
there's a continuity there. It bugs me when characters are like, yeah, I need you. You're the only one who can go pick up the 12 MacGuffins and give them to me. And then you walk away and they're like, filthy Horde. And you're just like,
It's
what?
like Mean Girls.
Yeah,
It's just Mean Girls is what it
It's
is.
super bad.
Filthy Horde. We don't need that scum.
The other one I noticed, and I just don't know if this was Blizzard. I'm not saying being lazy, because I think it's just a programming thing. But if you right click on Turellian at one point, he says, "Oh, it's been a while since I've seen an orc," and it doesn't. So if you're on a Tauren, it says a Tauren, and it's like, wait a minute, when is the last time you actually saw an orc or a Tauren, or a member of the Horde race? It's like, is this just are they just filling in variables in the dialogue just so that they didn't have to do something special? It just kind of took me off a little bit of like, wait a minute, when is the last time he saw an orc? Did he see him?
It just,
So-
I don't know. It feels like betrayal. It's what it feels like when NPCs are willing to like give you
When
a
they're
good
super
quest,
biased.
and then their faction bias shows. It's just,
Yeah. Well, and
Especially
that's
when
why
the
I
reward
wanna-
is something big too. It's like, here's this great big bit of artifact power and everything. We really need you to power up your weapon. Jerk.
Yeah. Well, and that's why I do want to level up one of my Alliance tunes and get them through this just to see. I want to see the opposite side of the fence, as it were. I want to see how they react to the Alliance character versus the Horde character.
yeah.
I wonder if I right click Tolarian and he's like, it's been a long time since I've seen a Pandaren. No, you
Right.
haven't.
Well, that's the thing. That's
Right.
exactly what he's going to say. And it's like, wait a minute.
Yeah, and Blizzard, so I actually saw an interaction on Twitter about this where they basically did say that, like, it's just programmed that way. It's kind of unfortunate because he technically wouldn't know about Blood Elves. He's never seen a Pandaren, so
Exactly. Yeah.
there's a lot of issues because it would have all been High Elves at the time he was running around.
So basically,
Yeah.
what you're saying is, for me, it's like, it's been a long time since I've seen Pandaren. For him, a long time is 5 minutes because I was just there.
Yeah.
So,
Well, time moves differently for him because he's been in the Nether the whole time.
yeah, exactly, right. That's how that works.
But so that cutscene though,
Yeah.
it opens. I think from a storytelling point of view, I think it opens so many possibilities of, okay, where are we going from here? Because, as me, I'm like, oh, we brought Light's Heart back. We put the Naru back together. Great. Now we've got this, font of knowledge that we can use to defeat the Legion. And Illidan just went, nope, gone. Okay, so I guess we're back on our own. And it's funny because at one point you have to teleport down to where Illidan is, because I guess Illyria gets her own section, Turellian gets his own section, Illidan gets his own section. He's like, Turellian wants you to check up on me? Okay, well, here's what you can tell him. And then you come back to him and he goes, try and keep up. It's like, I'm like, okay, that's the Illidan I know. That's the, it would be interesting. I want to see, because I haven't got my Demon Hunter to 110. I want to see the interaction with the Demon Hunter and Illidan
Yeah.
in this. That's going to be interesting to me. I want to see how that interaction goes.
So apparently he's just all like, I couldn't hold the Black Temple like I said I would.
Yeah.
Guys,
Sorry, my bad.
my bad. Mew does bring up an interesting point, and this threw me as well when they were talking about how many thousands of years it's been, and I was like, Turellian's a dude. How is he still alive? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. Like, I saw Ben's guess in the chat, and sure, the light, we can use the Force to explain everything, I guess, but the time kind of threw me a bit, because I know there's a thing where time passes more slowly, and there's a bunch of weird wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey things going on, but...
And, I mean, it could just be his body still aging at the normal speed as it would if he were on Azeroth, but just because of how time works, it does stretch, and, I mean, it's a lot to wrap your head around.
Does this mean when we go back to Azeroth, a lot of time has passed?
Probably.
Well, and that's the interesting discussion is, what do we do once we're done here? Do we go back, and what shape do we find Azeroth in? Because that may be the next expansion that we like, hey, guys, we took care of everything, and we come back and like, oh god, now we gotta clean this place up, And
it's a water world.
Exactly.
Northrend has melted.
Exactly.
Have you ever seen paper?
But to the thing, to the question of how old he is, this is the other thing that comes up during all this dialogue is there's one point where you go talk to Khadgar, and I think it's Khadgar, Turellian, and one other person, and it's Illyria. It's Khadgar, Turellian, and Illyria, and it's like, it's been a while since the Sons of Lothar got together and had a drink. And Illyria's like, yeah, and if I remember correctly, it's your turn to buy, Khadgar. And Khadgar says, no, I don't think it is. And she's like, don't question the memory of an elf even after 1,000 years. So that's where the 1,000 years is coming in from, is that piece of conversation. But I'm wondering, because John, I don't know the lore, and this may be something I've got to go look up. Is the Sons of Lothar just a, what is that Sons of Lothar's significance in that conversation?
The biker gang.
Well, no, but is it a bloodline? Is it, you know what I mean?
I think it's a faction, but I don't. It's tied to either original Warcraft or Warcraft 2 from when they all went through the portal, but I don't remember all the details, so I don't want to speak too authoritatively on it because I don't want us to get a bajillion corrections on it. So right. I will just say that I don't know, but I know that Turellian and Khadgar would both be a part of it.
Right. So we know Illyria's age from being an elf. So I'm just wondering, because Khadgar seems to have lived a long time and aged and then regressed. And then, I'm wondering if there's something with the Sons of Lothar or there's something else going on with those two and their aging.
Well, the good news is that Spaz in the chat room says that the Sons of Lothar are a group of members of the Alliance expedition to Draenor, led beyond the Dark Portal by the Archmage Khadgar after the Second War.
Boom! There you go. I got darn close for not knowing.
Yeah. I'm still going with biker gang. I was pretty darn close, too.
If they went through on bikes, you're spot on.
Totally.
Yeah, and you can't prove there weren't bikes, so...
They totally went through on penny farthings. Maybe something happened when they went through the Dark Portal that affected they stopped aging. Who knows?
They said their prayers and they drank their vitamins. Turns out,
and had some broccoli.
The advice of the 80s is still alive today, and it's still just as good.
Yeah.
They slept upside down. Keith Richards does that. Yeah. That's why he can't be killed by conventional weapons.
But I will say this, for this expansion, take your time, and if you are on a character that can stealth, like Rogue John, or one that can go invisible like a mage. Just go explore everything. There are nooks and crannies and caves. There was one like, and I don't remember where this cave is. It's off one of the landing areas. I went into the cave, and it's a MASH unit. It's the whole medical center of the wounded Draenei from the Army of Light, and you can just wander through there and see the wounded soldiers and people helping out. And there's a repair vendor in the back, and I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. No mission sent me here, but this was kind of cool to see. So, just
please tell me that there's one like medical person there named like Alda Allen or something, and he's
I wish I'm gonna
jokes.
go back and find it again because I want to look through it. But it's a MASH unit in a cave. I'm like, oh yeah, this triggered thoughts of the TV show. But yeah, it's interesting what you can find, and this is, how Tanaan Jungle was fairly flat.
Mm-hmm.
This is not flat at all. This is three-dimensional. There's stuff above you, there's stuff on the level you're on, and there's stuff below you. I will give you one word of warning. Don't try and get to the raid area. You will die before you make it across the bridge. Don't try and jump into the fell core of the planet. You will die.
Oh,
weird.
Done both.
That's not how I would have expected the fell core of the planet to interact with mortal bodies.
I know, it said fell core, and I was like, I noticed that as I was going over the edge, because I was jumping to a ledge down below, or what I thought was a ledge down below, and realized, oh, I'm headed towards the center of the planet. That's not good. Yeah.
However, if you interact with the Falcor of the center of the planet, you'll be on a luck dragon and fly around.
There you
Great.
go.
Well, I'm glad we've resolved all that.
Yeah.
But take your time and look around. There's a lot of stuff to see on there, more than just kill 12 demons.
Yeah. John, any final thoughts?
No, I think it's good content. I have slipped up on this show. I've heard plenty of friends slip up as well and refer to this as an expansion. And I think there's a reason that people are making that mistake. I think it's real big and real good so far. So I hope Blizzard keeps this up. And I hope they tell us what's going on with Sylvanas really soon, because that's all I've cared about since I finished my first zone in Legion.
Yeah, apparently Varissa's just going to tell us what's going on. Yeah.
Hey, John, does this feel... Somebody mentioned it on another podcast, and this one I don't remember who said it, but does this feel like you're going through the leveling areas again?
A little bit. Without the leveling, but then again, we weren't getting anything from leveling this go around, so it continues to not matter.
No, but the way they're telling the story and the way they're progressing you through the areas, it feels like almost a leveling zone that they've introduced you into.
Yeah.
Well, Ted, thank you very much for joining us on the episode. It's always a pleasure having you on. And also, again, thank you very much for the escort through the first little bits. I do appreciate it.
You are welcome. Not a problem.
In the meantime, where can people find you?
If people want to hear more from me, you can actually tune in tomorrow night at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern to the AIE podcast. We are going to be having the folks from AIE SWTOR online to talk about their latest patch that they just got and the content drop and the twist that I don't think anyone saw coming that happened in that story content.
Oh, what's the twist?
The twist is that Darth Vader is Luke's father.
You need to tell me the twist. Message me in chat or something.
I will message you because
I want to know the twist.
Yeah. John, how far have you gotten in that story?
I don't know. The last I played, I was made the leader of the Eternal Empire. That was the last thing that I did.
Okay, then you're relatively caught up. I can catch you up in about 5 minutes after the podcast.
I'm in charge of a whole damn empire in that game. Like, not saying anything there, wow, but I'm just saying one of my characters is a Sith Lord that rules a infinite empire. The other has to go kill 12 demons because some dork said to.
Well, you're the ruler of a whole order that doesn't do it.
Yeah. So we'll be talking about SWTOR. We're gonna have Seema and I believe either Max or Apavan or Arv, one of the three on, and Mukau and Makala will be on there as well. And easiest place to find that is just go to AIE-guild.org and go to the podcast live link.
There we go.
And if you want
John.
to find me, if you want to find me, I'm
Dang.
on Twitter at Ivory Tiger. All right, I'm done.
He taunted.
I did.
Yeah, totally. I'm like, oh yeah, that's done. It's cool. I forgot you didn't lead with the Twitter, so my bad. John, what about you? Where can people find you?
Best place to stay on top of what I'm up to is to follow me on Twitter at John_Jagger. But this week I want to plug an extra thing. Follow me on Twitch, twitch.tv/Revendon, REVENDAWN. I've put in a lot of effort to stream more often, and apparently I've put in so much that they have made me an affiliate now. So that means I now have it as kind of something of a job, and I have to do it even more. So I'm working on that and would appreciate more people stopping by. I have played WoW on there. I basically play whatever I'm in the mood for. So it's a lot of Blizzard games. It's been a lot of XCOM lately. It's led to some awkward moments, which Svensson's mentioning in the chat. Svensson, I will continue to apologize all the time, forever, for what I did to poor Svensson. He's a good person. And his Twitter feed is fantastic, and nobody should ever question it. But if you want to hear me talk about Heroes of the Storm specifically, you can listen to Core, which is a part of the Frog Pants Network. You can find out more about that at heroesforyou.com. Ben.
Yes, John.
What about you? Where can people find you?
The best place to find me actually is on Twitter as well. I am at Ben the Mage, because that's my name, and I sometimes play mage. I do
Your mage needs an escort.
Call 1-800
No.
Tetsemi. No. That is 7 letters, so hey, that would work. Anyways, I also do another show with the Ludra. This one is called Battle Pets, where we talk about battle pets in the World of Warcraft. We're actually going to be recording an episode shortly after I'm done, offline on this one, and that's going to be up. We're going to be talking about all the new pets that came out with this patch and everything, and by golly, it's a doozy. So check that out. This show, however, Azeroth Roundtable, you can always find us on Twitter. We are at AzerothRT. Any questions, comments, you want to correct our lore, which we kind of figured out anyways, you can go ahead and send those to AzerothRoundtable@gmail.com. And of course, all of our episodes are found on AzerothRoundtable.com, on Stitcher, iTunes, TuneIn, and Alpha Geek Radio. We do have a Discord server. You can find a link to that on AzerothRoundtable.com. We talk in there. To you.
Directly.
Yeah. Say stuff. There's been some pretty good conversations lately too, so check it out. Come on in. Now that I'm not going to be super busy with work, 24/7, I'm probably going to be chatting in there a little bit more. So, yeah.
Look at you go. Yeah. Was that it? Are you done with your part, Ben?
Yeah, I am.
All right. Well, cool. Hey, everybody. This is the part of the show where we thank our patrons. So a big thank you to the patrons of the show. First off, a special shout out, as always, to the Murloc Club. Aaron and Simon over there in the Murloc Club making it happen. We don't have any new patrons this week. We did lose a few, and, normally that's not a thing you talk about, but I wanted to take a moment to mention it because when you stop supporting a show, they ask you, hey, why are you leaving? Just to, an exit survey kind of thing. And a few of the people who have left have said, oh, man, I'm sorry, I just can't afford it. Things are rough, or I'm saving for this, or I'm doing that. I just want to say to you all, we appreciate any support that you give us. And, I don't want anybody feeling bad that they can't give us money. We ask for it every week, but you should never feel bad. You all are awesome for just listening. Thank you for just listening. We do encourage people who can go to patreon.com/AzerothRT and support the show. But if you can't, that's still fine, and you're still super cool. And so I don't want anybody feeling bad, because that made me feel a little sad when people were like, oh, I'm so sorry, you guys. And it's like, no, don't be sorry. We're glad you supported us for as long as you did. That's awesome.
Yeah, so, we appreciate it. But guess what? We're still giving you the show because we love you and we love doing it.
We have the Patreon because I can't support the show. So I'm with you. So anyway, I just wanted to give a shout out to the people who aren't patrons as well, because hey, we know it's not always so easy, and that's fine. We appreciate you being here either way.
Yeah. Yeah, we understand financial obligations. It happens. In fact, we have some of our own.
Yep.
John, he's going to break my legs. Anyways, Azeroth Roundtable. Yay, go us.
That's how you're ending the show? Wow, good. Nailed it.
Nailed it.
Yeah. Okay, I did actually just stop recording because I figured that would be fun. Hey, that was great.
That was fun.
Yeah, thank you very much, Ted. It's always a pleasure having you on, and this was a particularly good show, if you ask me.
Yeah.
It was fun. John, let me know when the stream's cut so I'll catch up to date on Star Wars.
Nice. Okay. Stream for reasons that have nothing to do with what Tet just said. Thank you all for being here. Oh shit, I forgot to record it.
Again?
No!
Well, hey, John, guess what? This time I'm going to make you actually upload or
I don't know if
transfer
I
it, then
can.
download.
I don't know
and
if I
then cut.
can. If you want to do it, you can do it.
No.
See?
I'm editing the show.
See? Takes way longer to do my thing than editing the show. We'll see. I'll find a way to make it work. Gosh dang it.
I even reminded you at the beginning, too.
Yeah, I need
Yeah,
a
but we distracted
reminder sooner. Later.
Yeah.
I mean, later.
You know what? How about we just stop doing the whole let's not let them hear us? And then just let them hear us.
I want to have secrets. We'll figure it out. We'll find a good method.
All
Well, the secrets can be before we start streaming.
I want to stream
John.
right away.
I want to be sneaky.
Svensson called you out in the chat room, John. John, you had one job.
I can't say anything bad to Svensson because I
Unfollowed him.
can
Svensson,
never
call him a jerk.
I can never say anything bad to Svensson ever again. Svensson has a permanent pass in my book.
You know, I had that whole like explanation recorded too. I almost put it on after last week's episode, but I'm like, nah, I'll let John just sit there and have that.
I feel so bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was trying to
Alright.
be a buddy.
okay.
That's my only defense. I was trying to be a buddy. Anyway, chat room, thank you for being here. We're going to call that a show. You all have a fantastic night. You're wonderful people, especially you, Svensson. And we're out.
Bye, everybody.
Okay.